And we take a look in Pocomoke City as town officials are looking to prioritize transparency and proper documentation in the future. WMDT's Rennell Foreman joins us live in the studio. Rennell, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Heidi, Councilman Scott Holland has made it clear that the city needs to be more transparent in how they present information to the governing body and the public. His focus being on the travel to out-of-state conferences that some council members are taking that need to be better documented.
I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I've asked for this privately several times over the last 2.5, 3 months. I can go back and show you the emails. This is my last resort.
At the most recent council meeting in Pocomoke, a heated discussion on whether the city is as transparent as they should be. Commissioner Karen Abbott spoke at the meeting and says that Councilman Holland is doing the right thing by asking the right questions.
One of the reasons, the big reason I ran was for accountability, transparency, and honesty. And I hold myself to that.
The discussion stems from an issue on council members traveling to out-of-state conferences and if those trips are being documented properly. Councilman Holland claims to have reached out to City Manager Brandy Matthews for more clarification, but claims he didn't get a response. This all came to a head at the meeting as Matthews telling WMDT how the process works for travel.
Basically, with travel, what happens is each member receives an email from either MML or NLC stating, hey, I want, these conferences are happening. They then let the city clerk know that, they want to attend.
Adding that credit card statements are not easy to explain.
Credit card statements, they're not all done. Like all of the transactions are not done at one time. So in April, you may have registration for summer MML. Then the hotels is like in June when we actually physically go. So they're not always on one credit card statements.
Mayor Todd Knock, though, believes that the city meeting was all for the betterment of Pocomoke.
I just feel like our council meeting was an example of how a governing body does what it's supposed to do, debating, voting, and making decisions. Disagreements does not mean dysfunction. In fact, it shows that different perspectives were heard.
Yeah, and Mayor Todd Knox saying that the city has never been more transparent and is as accessible for community members as it's ever been. And Mayor Todd Knox with strong things to say about Commissioner Karen Abbott, specifically on how she handles transparency. He mentioned during the interview about how the commissioner pushed for closed session minutes to be open, which ended up not passing from a vote of 3-2. He also spoke about how the Newberry projects have been at a standstill with funds being allocated but not fully for the project.
One can't point fingers and say people aren't being transparent when they're not doing it themselves. And that wasn't something that was publicized. So that was just an example that I was willing to share where Karen hasn't been transparent herself.
Yeah, Mayor Todd Knock again pushes for these debates, saying that open discussions make the entire city of Pocomoke a better place for all. Live in studio, I'm Rennell Foreman at WMDT, because local matters.
Thank you, Rennell, and we'll have more information on our website.